I'm watching that very carefully. I know that's their theory. Whether that, in fact, is the reality is another thing.
Governor Napolitano says she will wait to see if the pullback of National Guard troops at the border will impact security. In the meantime, Senator Jon Kyl is working to give the Department of Homeland Security an additional $3 billion. Part of that money would add 23,000 new Border Patrol agents. I've got the top line, I've got the letter here, but also I want to talk to Don here. I've got the top line of your letter here, Don, that you sent out, and it says this, the quote, usual suspects like Lindsey Graham, Ted Kennedy, and Jon Kyl are pushing to add the DREAM Act and other illegal alien amnesty language to unrelated bills.
Well, I think you'd also have to read the second email that went back about 5 minutes after that retracted it. That information that I sent out was from a group called ALLOCAting, who jumped the gun before Senator Kyl's bill came out. Now, we're looking at Senator Kyl's bill. I haven't seen the full language on it, but from what I've seen in the newspaper accounts at this point in time, I think it's stepping absolutely in the right direction. I think Senator Kyl is out from underneath the President of the United States. I think he's out from underneath Senator John McCain. And I think he's acting on his own. He's acting in good faith with the people of Arizona. If the bill reads the way the newspaper account reads, this is a very positive step in the right direction, and this is the Jon Kyl that Arizona knows.
Jeff, let's get you here to comment on this. He's talking about, Kyl's talking about 23,000 new Border Patrol agents, 700 miles of fencing, more vehicle barriers, and more radar at the border. What do you think?
On one level, I think it's encouraging that finally the federal government is stepping up and recognizing its responsibility to protect our border here in Arizona. For too long, that burden's fallen on the state and our budget. Initially, I think this is a good compromise because at least it's an initial step. It's a little heavy on enforcement. I would like to see a more comprehensive immigration bill in place so that there is actually a path for people who want to come here and work to legally do so. The vote yesterday was 89-1 in favor of this bill. I know Senator Kyl had a lot to do in the negotiations in the background. Whether this is actually his bill, I wonder. Always harkens back to, I think it's Mark Twain who said the art of the politician is to find a parade and then get out in front of it.
Jessica, jump in.
Both Senator Kyl and Senator McCain have been tremendous leaders on this issue, and we're very grateful to have them representing Arizona. However, this bill has components that we absolutely agree with, beefing up security, also beefing up employer sanctions, believe it or not. However, we also very vehemently support the concept of restructuring our visa system here in this country. It's antiquated, it doesn't work. It was designed for the America of the 1930s, and is establishing some sort of a temporary worker program, which we also desperately need. More people are going to be leaving the U.S. workforce starting in 2008 than entering it. We don't have the bodies to fill all of the jobs. We want to keep those jobs here in Arizona and in the United States, and we need to establish some sort of a system that's going to allow us to do that. I
found it interesting when I went back and I looked at some polling numbers that when I looked at like USA Today Gallup polls, there were some ABC News polls, some NBC News polls. The majority of Americans were responding and saying we favor a pathway to citizenship for the people who are here and doing the right thing, trying to take care of their family, having a good job. However, most people were against the immigration legislation from a few weeks ago. It was just very interesting trying to get a gauge of where people think on immigration.
I think it's this. The border security and immigration is like a bucket with a bunch of holes in it. And before you can fill the bucket up with water, you've got to plug the holes. In order to make the visa program work, in order to make guest worker program from agriculture and other things work, you have got to stop the flood of illegal aliens coming in across the border. You cannot put together a comprehensive immigration plan with people flooding in and be able to keep track of them. What the American people want is, first, secure the borders, take care of the laws that deal with employers who are knowingly hiring illegal aliens, reduce or eliminate sanctuary city policies. Once that's in place and that part of it's under control, then let's seriously talk. I agree with Jessica that the visa program and the immigration program is extremely outdated. You know, we have the basic pilot program that brings returns in within 3 minutes, but we can't get a person's citizenship who's been here for 14 years, jumped through all the hoops, paid his dues, money to the federal government, passed the test, and they can't become a citizen of the United States because there's such a huge backlog. We can't even get passports done because there's such a huge backlog. Bring it up to the 21st century, secure the borders, bring this program up to the 21st century. We can do this.
All right, we're going to keep talking right after another commercial break, and I'll let you two lead off the discussion when we come back. But let's tell our viewers what is coming up. Arizona businesses announce what they plan to do as they get ready to deal with the state's new employer sanctions bill. We will tackle that right after this.